Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Dare to Align podcast. This is where we're going to have real conversations and insights about what success looks like when it's built from a place of alignment, not just hustle. Now, never in a million years did I think that if I ever started a podcast, that I wouldn't be talking about how to become successful. Instead, I'd be revealing, something much deeper, and it's why I never truly achieved that success for more than 2 decades. But I was chasing it. So even though I was ambitious, even though I gave it my all, even though I believed that if I just truly worked hard enough, that something would eventually click. And my hope is that this realization will help someone out there who's quietly wondering why nothing that they're doing seems to be working. But I want you to know that nothing is wrong with you. You've just never been shown the kind of work you were designed to thrive in. So, who is this podcast really for? It's for the ones who are driven and ambitious, the ones who risked it, the ones who wanted to thrive in life, where you've invested in the programs and followed the experts and tried all the strategies, but deep down something just isn't working, right? So and then there's that little voice that says, gosh, why does this still feel so hard? Why am I doing everything right but still not getting there? So let me tell you, it's not a lack of discipline, it's not a lack of commitment, it's not a lack of knowing what you want. It's a lack of alignment. Now, before we get into that, let me be clear that this podcast is not for everyone. So if you're looking for another productivity hack or a motivational speech to just hustle your way harder, this is not it. Because you don't need more hustle. You just need more truth. And sometimes that truth sounds like, I don't think this is even what I want. So this podcast is for the ones who are finally ready to stop chasing someone else's version of success and just start building a version of success that isn't aligned with who you are, right? So there is a silent epidemic, and that's called misalignment. It's not that you're not trying hard enough. It's not that you're not smart enough. It's that you just were never taught to ask, does this actually fit me? Am I building something that matches who I am? And so when it doesn't fit, even the right strategy will still feel like you're swimming against the current. That's misalignment. And here's why this matters deeply so much to me. Because you have to admit, we spend most of our waking hours working in a job, in a business, in a career, because we all have to make a living. We have to earn it. But if you're miserable doing the thing that takes up most of your day, it's going to be really hard to feel happy in life. Am I right? So I think we just owe it to ourselves and the people we come home to come home as someone who feels happy and hopeful and alive, not drained and feeling like a failure. So, this is why I'm here to show you that there is a way to align who you are with what you do so that you could finally stop surviving and start thriving for once. So, here's just a quick little backstory about me. A few years ago, I hit one of the lowest points in my life. And I had been chasing success in real estate for years. Okay. I was just pouring in time, energy, money, and everything I had. But no matter what I did, I could never reach that certain level of success I wanted. And just to be clear, it's not like I was trying to reach for the stars to like be the number one, realtor in the entire world, or to like build this multi-million dollar empire overnight. My goals were not outrageous or unrealistic. I just wanted to create consistent success, to finally feel like, okay, I've got something that's steady, something that's working, something that I feel good about. That's all. But even that felt out of reach. And I truly started to feel like a failure. And the worst part of it all is that I just didn't understand why. And I kept asking myself, I'm doing everything they're telling me to do. So why isn't it working for me? And trust me when I say this, I'm the type of person where I spared no expense in investing in myself, in programs, in courses, and coaches, all promising to teach me the hacks and strategies to finally succeed. And I believe them because I saw it working for other people. But why isn't it working for me? So that was the question that kept creeping in. And so when I couldn't figure it out, my entire nervous system just shut down on me. I kid you not. I couldn't take any action. I felt paralyzed. So I had to seek professional help. And I'll never forget this moment. I was sitting in my second therapy session, and it was just a second one, mind you. And my therapist looked at me in my, like right in the eye, and he asked me this question: who are you? And I couldn't answer it. Not because I didn't want to, but because I genuinely didn't know. I had never been asked that question before in my entire life, because it sounds silly, right? It's like, who are you? Of course I know who I am, right? It's like, I'm Chalet. I was born here. I'm a mom. I have two kids. It's just, but I knew exactly what he meant. He didn't want me to answer in that way. And what he wanted was, who am I without all those roles and titles that I've acquired over the years? And it was at that moment that everything unraveled for me. It was like the fog had been like lifted, because I realized right there and then that I had skipped the most important step of all, the forgotten starting point to success, which is knowing who I am. And so I finally understood why it wasn't working. Real estate just wasn't where I was meant to thrive. I was completely misaligned. So let me just paint you a picture about what I mean with misalignment. Imagine a fish. It's designed to swim. We all know that. Its body, its rhythm, its instincts, all made for water, right? In water, the fish moves with ease. It glides, it flows. It doesn't even have to try that hard because it's operating in its natural element. So now, here, let's imagine that same fish is placed on land, and it was told to hustle, to climb, to keep pushing harder. And let's say that that fish is really determined and ambitious. It wants to succeed on land. So then it tells itself, okay, if I just work harder, if I stay focused, maybe I can make this work. So it takes the courses, it follows the strategies, it hired the coaches, it does everything right. But no matter how hard it tries, it still struggles. And not because it isn't capable, but because it never stopped to realize the most important thing, to realize that it's a fish. It was never meant to live and work on land. It was made to thrive in water. So if it's not in its element, it will struggle. If it's not in its element, it will struggle. And that's exactly what misalignment feels like. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not failing. You've just been trying to swim on land. You've been trying to climb the wrong mountain. You've been in the wrong lane. And that's when everything started to make sense for me. Because if I had been trying to succeed in the wrong environment, then the answer wasn't to push harder. It was to pause, to ask the right questions that I had skipped for so many years. Who am I? And what kind of environment am I meant to thrive in? And that's what led me to discover something now that I call the triple threat to alignment. It's a framework where it's what will allow you to gain the clarity and confidence to choose what fits you best so that you could stop forcing, so that you could stop guessing, so that you could finally start flowing. And don't worry, I'll walk you through that framework step by step in my upcoming episodes. But here's the thing. Here's what I want you to expect from this podcast. You'll hear solo episodes of me like this one where I share honest stories, truths, and practical tools. And then I'll also be inviting inspiring women who are living in alignment with who they are. And hopefully their stories will be able to give us insights on how they did that. Because real success, it doesn't require so much sacrifice. What it requires is alignment. So if something I said today made you pause, if something whispered inside you said that that's me, then join me on this journey. This is just the beginning. And I will see you in our next episode. Thank you so much. And I dare you to align.